Good afternoon and welcome everyone to this celebration of Joan's life, loving wife of Ivor, proud and loving mother of Mike, Lesley, Chris and Daniel, a doting grandmother of Jasmine, Naomi, Cole, Cobe and Arthur, much loved sister of Fred, and a loving mother-in-law and great friend and neighbour to many throughout her lifetime. She'll be sadly missed, but fondly remembered for the love she had for her family, the friendship she made along the pathway of her life, and for her bubbly, joyful and happy personality, and of course her caring and loving nature. Joan would never have wished for today to be a sad and solemn event. She want you all to remember her with a smile, knowing you've spent many happy times together. So let's celebrate her life in a way that she wished, by listening to her favourite music, hearing about her life story, and sharing memories from those closest to her, her family and her friends. Before we give our thanks to her for the wonderful life that she's given us. Throughout her life, Joan enjoyed Ivor's passion for poetry, and throughout the service I'll be reading extracts from poems that her devoted husband Ivor has shared with her over the years. I'll also be reading a poem on behalf of the grandchildren, but we'll begin today's service with Joan's story. Joan Davies was born on the 26th of June 1950 in Wrexham, and was an adopted daughter to parents Harold and Rosina. As we'll hear later, Joan and her family traced her birth family much later in life, and she eventually met them. From there on, her birth brother Fred became a constant in her life and a real brother to her and her husband, Ivor. Following verse is from a poem written for Joan depicts her lonely but idyllic childhood. My childhood was quite lonely. As an only child, you see, I had no other siblings to play and share with me. But I had some loving parents, so I grew up in a home that had many happy memories, and with friends I used to roam. Joan was educated at grammar school level in Wrexham, and began a working career studying to be a student nurse. In later years, she became a carer, childminder and foster parent, achieving many certificates and qualifications along the way. Joan met the love of her life, Ivor, after being introduced by Ivor's younger brother, Eric. The rest, as they say, is history, as they were married at St. Paul's Church in Pentrabroken on the 17th of January, 1970. Happily married for 50 years. Ivor reflects upon the time together in another poem that he composed for her. It's strange the way destiny tends to unfurl, for I found me and married a lovely Welsh girl. I know when we met it was love at first sight, and Ivor and Joan we felt just sounded right. Although unlike some, I gained no millionaire, I'm the wealthiest person you'll find anywhere. My teacher's report said he could do better. I did on the day that I went out and met her. From that day and for life I had found me a gem, whose love was the meaning for living. And when we both came together as husband and wife, it meant we'd be Valentines for all of our life. But much more than this, I know it is true, that only this lifetime we both have lived through, but our spirits are joined for eternity, as soulmates and Valentines we will always be. And Ivor went on to tell me, everyone here remembers a loving and caring wife, mother, grandmother, sister, mother-in-law, and great friend. I'd like to continue the service with some loving memories provided by those closest to her. As a wife and soulmate to me, she spent 50 years totally dedicated to making our life an absolute pleasure and looked after me completely. We shared joys and problems together. She was always do her best to help people with the traumas and problems that they faced in life. Throughout our lives together, Joan has been my strength and support, and as the centre of our family, she's took the role of peacemaker when family and friends were stressed and at breaking point. Joan always worried about everyone but herself and was the strongest person I know with a heart of gold. We had so much fun. We had many holidays with friends and family, all of which have been some of the best of our and their lives. Joan was adopted at birth, and a lot later in life, we traced her birth family. Joan's birth brother, Fred, became a real brother to her and me, and a lasting love developed with him and his wife, Sandra, As an original only child, this kinship has been a real strength and support to Joan and was a very important part of her life. Joan also traced her birth father and had a good but sadly a short relationship with him as he sadly passed, and she had to arrange his funeral. From her original job as a student nurse through to bringing up our family and fostering many babies and young children, and our adoption of our two children, Chris and Daniel, to join Mike and Lesley and complete our family. Joan has remained a cheerful, happy, supportive wife, mother, nan and friend to everyone. Her fun, loving, caring and strong love of life made it a privilege to share my life with her. Beautiful, beautiful words from Ivor. I'd like to share a lovely letter poignantly addressed to Joan after she sadly passed from her brother-in-law and sister-in-law Eric and Jenny. Hi Joan, you gave us all such an awful surprise after just seeing your new grandson Arthur on your way back home. I've had to stop and think about how life all over again brings everything into such sharp focus. Now all your closest and dearest know exactly who they've lost and when they last told you they loved you and how much they took for granted that you would always be there. Not that you have gone very far away. I know we'll always be in each other and everyone's heart, looking after them and setting an example for them to follow. I do think you should have taught Ivor how to cook before you left. He is all but useless in the kitchen and will probably now have to rely on stuff on the internet and all those useless ready prepared meals. As for drying clothes and ironing, forget that. He hasn't got a clue. Even to make the bed in the morning is a struggle. I know he may have spent more time in that damn shed fiddling about than sitting down and learning from you. I've told him to phone me whenever he likes. At the moment, it's hard to get past the tears. It looks like Ivor has got to send me to be with you. I know you will look after her so well. How is Lesley doing? I bet she's so pleased to be with you again after all these years. I know you've missed her every day since she left. You will see that all the kids, can I call them kids? They are much older now, are rallying around Ivor. They're all equally devastated, you slipping away without telling them. Who can they turn to now for sound advice? The easy answer though, they will still look up to you for it. After Ivor, Michael is the oldest one down there, and I'm sure he'll be trying to put on a brave face and hold things together. Not an easy task nowadays with all the pressures from every angle. Danny has sort of just spent the last 9 months preparing for Arthur's arrival, though I expect Sophie took the brunt of all the pains involved. Women always get a fair share of pain. All worth it in the end, of course, and it was lovely to see you holding Arthur for the first time. I hope they can remember everything you've told them. They just need to think what Mum would do in this situation if they have any concerns. Chris has a big task now after being with you right at the very end. I hope he can remember everything you taught him over the years. If he puts that all into practice, he'll be a winner. Your grandkids are all 21st century. I'm still trying to get my head around this century being born in 1950 when everything was easy peasy. I've watched them all grow, albeit from a distance. I'm so impressed with Naomi during her acrobatic stages, all those pics and videos of both Jasmine and Naomi and their love of horses. You know how close from how far Ivor and me have been over the years. Don't tell anyone about Mum and Dad Davies' pet that Ivor and I bought. We had privileged use of it back in the 60s. I compliment myself over being responsible for Ivor meeting you and even for Ivor becoming a mechanic like myself, also getting into horse riding. We have so many stories that we can recite. Ivor did return the favours by introducing me to poetry, which has helped me through some awkward times in the past. If you want to explore anything, then write it all down. Ivor also got me to work for the RAC from those little orange stands. It was always fun working with him. You shared our love of Penang, Joan. I'm so pleased you went to see a bit of our child homes. If you find time, Joan, please pop over this side of the world and say hi to Jenny and me. I hope Janet is well and taking care of you until such time as you'd settled. Of course, there will be lots of others to get chatting to as well. you will be kept very busy seeing everyone again. I do hope Ivor drops you a line soon. He must have loads of things to ask you. He has previously thought the fairies just came into the house and did. Bye for now. Lots of love, Eric and Jenny. And to continue this family tribute, some loving messages from our children and grandchildren, starting with Mike. For the 48 years of my life, Mum has been my soulmate, my rock, and has comforted me through the ups and downs, the trips and falls I have encountered on my journey. A caring mother, loving grandma to my two daughters, Naomi and Jasmine, and always finding the time in her daily routine to find us, check in and walk away knowing we are all safe and well. I always wondered where she got her energy from. She never sat down. She looked after me and Lesley throughout our schooling with the challenges presented by Lesley's condition, whilst also fostering many unfortunate children by welcoming them as part of her loving nature and desire to create happy family units for everyone. She held us together through the loss of Lesley at such an early age and kept us strong to move forward and live our lives with happiness of the joy we shared with Sis. Mum and Dad, two soulmates, the fountain of life for the family, the two loving companions for 50 strong years. Well, I think Mum held Dad up on most occasions, or at least kept him in check. They are together a shining example of how to do it right, and both presented their masterclass on this subject for all to attend. Mum worked very hard to maintain a positive family unit, which included helping many others in the wider family, albeit more on Dad's side, as Mum's family was extremely small. Only two cousins, Colin and Sonia, and their parents, the late Jean and Glyn. Her mum and dad died in their early 20s. In fact, she created an environment where our house was the place to go and was a home for everyone, family and friends. Took great pleasure in visiting, staying or attending the many seasonal parties we held and enjoyed. Always a family-orientated woman, putting everyone first and keeping her personal worries aside, serving everyone first at the table to maintain that love and to prevent them from getting up to it themselves. A huge love of animals, especially her dogs. I cannot remember a year in my 48 years when Mum didn't have a loving dog nestled on her knee. Not forgetting she was an educated woman and always had the answer for me when I exhausted my knowledge and needed a place to go with my questions or required confirmation of my understanding about something, usually people, places or medicine. She was also my sounding board for the many life issues I presented her with. A lover of holidays, I had the pleasure of going camping, caravanning and even places abroad such as Turkey and Florida with Mum. I think Walt Disney World brought an exceptional smile to her face. We even took her to London for the first time in her life not so long back, and not forgetting the mountains climbed in the Lake District together, a camping trip to Paris. If you speak to anyone who knew Mum, the words are kind, loving and caring, and putting everyone before her. She was the kindest, most caring person the world has given me. Lovely words, Mike. And from Chris, a poem. Mum, you were such a special mother. I don't think you really knew when it rained you were my cover. I always turned to you. Your job was unassuming, modest as can be, the most perfect type of woman. I'm blessed that you chose me. I learned so much from all your love. You're worth your weight in gold, and now I know that you're above, watching on as I grow old. You've always been beside me in all I've dreamed and planned, and there to listen. You always understand. I wish I told you more. Hope it was clear to see that you were sent from skies above. You're everything to me. You may be gone, but not forgot. Your legacy left on us. In our memories you live forever. You've brightened everything you touched. Now no more stress of life, no more aches and pains, taken from this world too soon. In my heart, your spirit remains. This is not goodbye, Mum, just a fond farewell to most amazing mother that loved us all so well. A new angel now in heaven, your love will now surround all the ones whose hearts you captured while you led us by the hand. Lovely, lovely words from Chris. And now from Daniel. As many people are aware, I was adopted by Joan and Ivor from a very young age. I was put through the care system never knowing where I might end up. I couldn't have struck here when they came into my life and claimed me as their own. I've always said anyone who fosters children have hearts of gold. It takes very special couples to want to do this. My mum was the definition of special. As a young boy, it was challenging at times, but what young boy isn't? Never mattered how many times I swore at the top of my voice. When my brother was wrestling with me in public, it never mattered that I used to play with lighters and nearly set the house afire. Neither did it matter that I was cheeky at times and told her how much I hated it. It also didn't matter that I pinched a couple of pounds from her purse to buy myself sweets and chocolate. She always had unconditional love for us. She never gave up on any of her kids. One thing I'll always remember about Mum is she welcomed anyone with open arms, no matter the circumstances, and did anything for anyone. She dedicated her life to her family. I am living proof that you can take somebody else's child and mould them to be the best that they can be. Without Joan, I honestly believe I wouldn't be the person I am today, and I'm so grateful that I was lucky enough to be her son. One of my wishes in life was for her to see me as a dad one day. I wanted her to be proud of me. I was the last son left to have his own kids. She needed to be a grandmother one last time. The day she came to meet Arthur, her newest grandson, was the day she sadly passed away. Mum was hesitant to hold him at first due to the current situation with COVID-19. Something told her that day to hold him, and she did. My mother and son together was a moment that I had pictured for many years. They shared mutual happiness, and my dream had finally come true. Mom, I love you dearly, and I'll miss you forever. Love, your devoted son, Dan. Again, beautiful, beautiful words. Finally, on behalf of all the grandchildren, a lovely poem from Naomi. It's called Legacy of Love. A wife, a mother, a grandma too. These are the gifts we have from you. You taught us love and how to fight. You gave us strength. You gave us might. No stronger person could we find, protecting us and always kind. Not just a nan, but our best friend, supporting us until the end. To all of us, you gave your best, and now your time has come to rest. So rest now, Nan. You've earned your sleep. The love you shed, we'll always keep. Thank you, Naomi. So, we've shared many loving and poignant memories and messages from an adoring family. Let's now reflect upon those memories and the many more you have of her as we listen to Eva Cassidy singing Autumn Leaves, during which time a visual tribute will be displayed on the screens behind me.
The falling leaves drift by my window. The falling leaves are red and gold. I see your the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. since you went away. The days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling. When autumn leaves start to fall, since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling. When autumn leaves start to fall, I miss you most of all, my darling. When autumn leaves start to
Some beautiful, beautiful memories there, wasn't there? So now, as we come to the end of this celebration of life ceremony, on behalf of Joan's family and friends, we give our thanks to her for a wonderful life, for all that she was and for all that she meant to us all. We give thanks. We give thanks for every day we can spend with her, for the friendship we shared with her, and of course for the love received from her. We ask now for strength and courage to be able to leave her, safe in the knowledge that she is now at peace and at rest. We thank you for the love of your family, for all the times you were by their sides to help and support them, to celebrate their successes, to understand their problems and accept their defeats, and for teaching us by your example the value of hard work, good judgment, courage and integrity. We give thanks for all the love, protection and support you freely gave to your children and in turn to their children, and for the love and support you have given to your foster children over the years. We give thanks for your honesty, your quiet, warm and caring character, the love and companionship gave to friends and neighbours, and for lighting up our lives with the simple things like laughter, smiles and all the happy times you've shared together as family and as friends. And if we've forgotten to show our gratitude enough for all the things you did, Joan, we're thanking you now, and we're hoping you knew all along how much you meant to everyone. And now please stand for the committal as we let Joan go. As we do so, recite a poem she herself has composed, I lived without you and shared true joy. I lived with you and shared true joy, our spirits intertwined, So please don't wish me bon voyage in clothes where gloom is pined. Best as you would as I was here, and walking by my side. The box is only my last suit, for I am not inside. A caring, sharing, happy life I've lived while here with you. Now move on to places new, where peace and love shine through, to meet again those loved and lost, who once walked by my side, but still lived on within my heart. Near them I'll now reside. Let me depart with loving heart, with all that shared my life, and celebrate my moments shared as friend, mother, nan, and wife. Ivor and the family are really grateful to everyone who have shown such love and support since Joan's sad passing. Your messages and kindness have helped to shine a light through this very dark and sad time in their lives. Finally, the opening verse from another of Joan's poems, Promised Time. So now I've lived my promised life of 60 years and 10. I have to say, without a doubt, I'd live it all again. Rest in peace, Joan.
That I heard